have two tyres here. We have a Continental 22 and a 25. This is a GP 5000. We've got a Continental Competition Tubular 25. This is Richard Carapaz's favourite wheel. Favourite tyre. Uses lightweight wheels. This is a tubular wheel. Good grip, good traction. Valverde crashed yesterday. He hit a bump. His hand slipped. His front brake's on the left. He's Euro style. In Australia, we have front brake on the right. And this is an SL7 tarmac, by the way. SL7 tarmac, the worst tarmac Specialized ever made. That's how much I don't ride it. It's junk. Overpriced junk. That's another story. We've covered that a zillion times. So he's grabbed the left brake, and he's just on the limit. All right. So imagine this is the tyre. This is probably the angle he's on. And because he's ridden, maybe 800,000 Ks with rim brakes, and he's in this like reptile hindbrain save my life response, he's just grabbed the brake. And you do that with rim brakes, you're used to that. His hand, this action here, well, we got this action here with some women, but no, this action here for Valverde, right? He knows exactly how his rim brake's going to respond. With disc brakes, his reptile brain, 800 to 7,000, million Ks on a rim brake bike at World Tour level, he's grabbed it, and it's just too much, and he's lost front end, he's crashed out of the Vuelta, which he's done everything he's going to do to maybe win it, or podium, or just have his last hurrah. It's so disappointing, and none of us wanted to see that. I'm a Valverde fan, just because of his longevity in the sport, and I've ridden him a few times here in Adelaide. He's just a pretty chill guy. Nice, just loves to ride his bike. So this fingers here, he's not used to disc brakes. You look at the video again, go to Lantern Rouge channel, blah, blah, blah. A lot of channels, blah, blah, blah. It's obviously his brakes have slipped. So he hit the traction of the tyre. That's your braking power is limited by your traction of the tyre. So road hydro have no place in the World Tour. For noobs, for dirt, gravel, people want a big fat tyre, hydro disc is great. I'm a gravel bike, I love it. But for road racing, especially at World Tour level, it's dangerous. And we see that evidence. You see these crashes happening that wouldn't have otherwise happened. Johan Brunel says it. A lot of riders say it off the camera, ex-riders, etc. Because the sponsors want to push disc brakes, Specialized being the main culprit. And I think there should be options. Riders should be able to have the choice. But Specialized, you ride for Specialized, Trek, Cannondale, Cervelo, Scott, Bianchi, you no longer have a choice. You have to ride pizza cutters at a World Tour level. It's a joke. Pro cycling's so dangerous, man. So dangerous. It's too dangerous to have disc brakes, man. With a Shimano rim brake, you know what you're getting into. You know what you got. Your hands are used to it. But Valverde, with his, nursing home hands, same age as me, doesn't have that, not used to that. So when he grabs it to save his life in a corner at high speed, absolutely tilting it over, like the angle of the tyre, they're probably like that. Carapaz is absolutely pushing it on his rim brakes, absolutely pushing it, almost forcing a crash. And he's all like, Valverde's probably like that, just lean, dip his knee into the corner, scrape the scab off his kneecap, doesn't have to shave his legs, just shave his hairs on his knees to see how far he's descending that day. That's the reality, man. So disc brakes is too much power for such a skinny little tyre at World Tour level, at that speed, dry days, big pressure on the tyre, dry to hot day, big pressure, less long resistance. All right, you see it. Olympic gold medal won with 22mm tubulars. Carapaz, Valverde's lightweight rider. They're going to go skinny tyres, and these brakes are designed for 120 kilo, low carb, barrister, bankers who got an FTP of 1 watt per kilo, and they need mountain bike brakes because they're so fat. And there's nothing wrong with being fat. I'm just saying, if you're overweight, disc brakes are good for you. For all the rest of us who are lean, eat low-fat diets, rim brakes good enough for us on the road. Disc for dirt, or disc for obese, rim for road, rim for lean. Simple as that. In my opinion, strong opinion, Valverde crashed because his disc brakes, his hands weren't used to it, they overgrabbed, disc brakes aren't consistent at that level, they get hot, they expand, it's just not. Ask any World Tour mechanic after a few beers, they'll tell you, disc brakes at the World Tour are absolute garbage. Every single World Tour mechanic agrees with me. Ask them after a couple of beers, watch their face when they're walking bikes, they absolutely hate it. Watch the Movistar Netflix doco if you don't believe me. If you don't believe that, then Santa Claus. You probably believed in Santa Claus till you're 18, and your mum still picks you up from work at age 35. Other thing with these super light disc brake road wheels is you got radial on one side, you got two crosses on the other. It's not balanced properly for World Tour level. It's not balanced properly, but to save weight, you got to use less spokes to make it more aero. Less spokes, more aero. But then you got this two cross over here. So then you got this 300 gram fork, and you're grabbing the brake, and the whole, you get this flex. And when you're really tipping on the edge, you got that flex. See you later. So road disc with skinny tyres at high speed is just dangerous. And Valverde's crash, probably one of the most experienced descenders ever, proves that. He hit the bump. He would have saved it, but he couldn't, and lucky that guardrail wasn't longer.